All right, guys, we got Boanaan on the bottom left side of the map going for a Krabby deck. Oh, he's playing the starter deck. He's playing the starter deck. Dude, he wrecked me with this the other day. I thought there's no way this is going to win. And he destroyed me with it. Heyman playing Recall, Destroyer, Gargantua, Mortar. Can Heyman, a 7,000 MMR Battle Aces, very high level player, take on the by far #1 player who's playing a starter deck? Skill, but also the understanding of when to do things and how to do things is next level for a guy like Boanaan. He is incredibly high level, and I love that he's got the Krabby Boys coming in. Krabby Boys, Krabs. Ooh, gonna get recalled on. Good pullback, good pullback. Now remember, Krabs are very tanky, 2,200 hit points. They do insane damage per second as well, but they attack so slowly, and it's kind of like, you know, they're very surroundable. They can get caught out and that sort of stuff, so they definitely have some weaknesses as well as being melee units, but their raw stats for cost are incredible. So if you can engineer a situation where you've got Krabs hitting the main, Krabs hitting the natural, Krabs hitting the third, and your opponent can't like ball up and use their range advantage and stutter step and do all that stuff, Krabs actually trade in really, really very well. Are Krabs viable now? Were they buffed it? They're not intentionally bad. Krabs were always decent in every version of the game, in that they're playable. They're just not one of the best units, right? I say they're playable, and like I said, this is a 3,000 MMR advantage. So in a 3,000 MMR advantage, I think Boanaan can do anything. But I remember like State, for instance, was on an account called King Crab Prime, I think it was called, or Crab Prime or something like that. Basically, he just went Krabs, King Krabs, like all crab units every game, and it was like legitimately hard to stop in the first beta. Krabs were not always decent. They were pretty de facto the worst tier 1 non-anti-air unit. Well, that's what I thought as well. But then without even getting buffs, there was actually, like, we realized you could actually use them. Obviously, they could be stopped, and they were definitely the least flexible. But if your opponent wasn't used to it and you got in 3 bases at once, like, they actually were actually, you know, not terrible. But it took people a while to realize just how to use them. Now, obviously, if you counter them correctly, yes, they're garbage, and they always have been. I thought they did get a buff in the first beta. Oh, maybe they did, Printer. I don't know. I didn't think they did, but I could be wrong. Butterfly's coming in right now. Butterflies are so good at sniping bases. He's not even fighting the units. He's just sniping the base, and I think that's the right call. He does get blinked on, though. The Butterflies are going to YOLO. He doesn't kill the base. Oh, Heyman saves it. And Heyman kills his base with a Butterfly counter at the same time. Heyman, 3,000 MMR disadvantage, says, eat my Butterfly, suck my recall, get wrecked, beginner deck noob. All right, guys. Boanaan playing the starter deck again. Heyman in the top right. Both players insta expanding. And Boanaan said, with this deck, I don't think you can take a third after that last game. So I think he just feels like, look, I mean, what can I do to defend a third base, man? And we'll see how it goes. I love that Boanaan here, you know, challenging himself, playing the starter deck, because he didn't want to keep playing. And I said, look, it's because you think you basically, you know, you beat Percival. Percival beat Theory. They're the second and third best player right now. You're the best. Okay, fair enough, right? And I was like, how about, though, you play the starter deck? You trolled me with it the other day. You wrecked me. You know, show us what you got. And he was like, oh, okay. So we managed to kind of con Boanaan into playing another series here once he's on top of the hill. And he's obviously, like I said, Krabs really good for hitting worker lines, multi-pronging. Hard to do that against recall. You really need to like overwhelm them once they take 3 bases usually. Oh, the Krabs are going to do well here. This is super worth. So he's already lost 1 Krab, but he kills 2 recalls for 2 Krabs, and he gets a bunch of damage on the rest. It's a net positive. And yeah, generally speaking, keeping the fight small is going to favor the Krab player, I would say, more than the recall player. Range units, the bigger mass they get, the more they start like one-shotting units, and stutter step gets more powerful and that sort of stuff. Oh, I thought he would have done a recall rather than a stutter step. He's trying to move out his Heyman there. Okay. Air techs coming in. It's going to be Butterfly flak turret for Heyman. Wow, very turtley setup. Up against, of course, Butterfly airship. Boanaan probably just goes for 1 Butterfly. There are already recall hunters for Heyman as well. I think just 1 Butterfly, try to force a turret or 2 down, and build maybe 1 airship and try to intercept any Butterflies that go along the edges of the map for Heyman. Heyman's air kicks in. Oh, he's going straight Bulwark, guys. He's going to go Bulwark for the air-to-ground superiority. Oh, that's cute. That's real cute. That's actually kind of adorable. It's 2 base against 2 base. It's not a great late game, the Bulwark. Apparently, it's not useless, but it definitely has had some periods where it was the worst advanced Starforge unit. I'm not sure if it is anymore. Oof. There's no Bulwark counter, chat says. What about Gargantua? Can it take it on? It's decent now. It's got buffed health. It's no longer the worst. It was the air version of the Crab and Ballista back in the earlier versions. Oh, it didn't recall the recall hunters. Uh-oh, careful, bro. Crabs hanging out. Artillery's going to come in, though. I feel like artillery's going to be so scary, but I don't know. Crabs actually aren't nearly as vulnerable to splash damage as other units. And air turrets will destroy any air unit, even bulwarks, but you need enough of them. One is not going to take down. Bulwarks are expensive chunkers, and you're going to need to have the turrets in the right position, and they can't be in multiple places at once, so yeah, this is kind of crazy. The advanced bot, chat saying, would also counter. There's no advanced bot in this game, unfortunately. Yeah, the flak turret would be good. Where are those bulwarks? They're just chilling? Leaving one at each base as well, in case there is a butterfly run by. Very cute, very cute. Here come the bulwarks. Oh, yeah. They got 3 guns on each side. Oh, and he's going to split one off. That is it? No, he thinks about it. Decides not to. Yes, he does. No, yes, no, no. Crab bulwark, and we've got mortar and destroyer coming in right now. Not sure if either of those is going to make a big difference. I think artillery already does the same job, but maybe thinking about getting to Gargantua. There's a 3 base against 3 base standoff. No recall hunters down here, so the butterflies going to tickle those boys. Going for quite a few butterflies. Interesting. Nothing for them to do bonus damage against right now. And here we go. I think Boanaan feels like he needs to make a play soon. I don't know if he can wait too much longer. There's one turret hidden in there in amongst that army, guys. That turret could do big damage to these bulwarks. The bulwarks, it's a big flying bunker, essentially. It's covered in machine guns. Pretty sure the designers, they saw that bug in StarCraft 2 that was there for a few days on the ladder, where you could lift off a command center, load full bunkers inside it, then fly it around like a flying fortress, and they said, let's make that an actual unit. That is cool. Here we go. Turrets trying to come in, but the bulwarks and the crabs are swarming over the top, and look at the way he's avoiding the turrets. The bulwarks go to the right side. He's trying to avoid the turrets. The crabs are getting gunned down in these big fights. The artillery helping out a lot as well. Oh, it's so hard to find a correct fight with these bulwarks. Oh, he's going to go for turrets on top of them. They will get taken out. The bulwarks do take out those turrets before they can spawn. Doing a pretty good job with the bulwark micro on both sides. Turrets are going to go up on the north. He's going to try and maybe just focus the bottom one, or he's just going to back away. So at least he forces mass turret on the bottom, and then he's going to move north over here as well. So that's kind of cool, guys. These units are going to go hide in the dead space. It's butterfly bulwark airship, but the advanced... the recall hunters, as well as the recalls, are going to be good enough to deal with the butterflies. Bulwarks can do really well, though, against the hunters there. Butterflies don't want to fight this on their own. They're just trying to stop the base from getting sniped. Bulwarks coming in with the crabs. Base will get sniped. Ooh, but quite a few units sacrificed to do so. Butterflies are going to run in there. Remember, butterflies are a hard counter to the flat cannons, guys. I don't think you can target flat cannons on individual units. Maybe you can. But you'll notice the butterflies only take 100 damage, whereas they do over 3,000 damage against any other air unit. The butterfly is the only air unit that the flat cannon does not counter, so it's actually insane. You can target fire with turrets now, says chat. Good. If you couldn't do that, it would be appallingly bad, but he wasn't focus firing in a lot of situations there, and Boanaan using those butterflies to tank so very well. The hunters coming in, no chance to deal with the bulwark, but he does snipe the butterfly. And the bulwark's happy to just kill some workers and back away. Only 5 crabs up north. The bulwark army is not there, and he hasn't rebuilt his third either. Boanaan has to keep expanding. He's winning this game, believe it or not, with the starter deck. But he's doing it from a handicapped situation. He's going to lose another base. He does rebuild his third, but he loses his fourth, and that recall gets out of there with minimal losses. Great snatch there for Heyman. Heyman, though, still down in supply and down in the energy. Turrets, remember, not very mobile. Having 5 turrets on this base, or 6 turrets even, that's a lot of money invested and supply. It's not going to be wherever the frontal fight is. The mass bulwark is kind of hilarious. Here we go. Butterfly's trying to run forward. The bulwark's up in front. Gonna dive in. The butterflies. Oh my gosh, the butterflies. They do so much bonus damage to buildings as well. The flak turrets get so wrecked by them. It is crazy how much butterflies wreck flak turrets. My lord, that is insane. And look at that. What a win here for Boanaan with the starter deck. Wow, Boanaan is just so good at this game, dude. Don't get me wrong, it's a big skill difference between the players and knowledge difference, I want to say. Skill, knowledge go hand in hand in this game pretty heavily. Knowing what to do just as important as how to do it. Even though it's fast-paced, it's much more about knowing what to do than anything else. The recall's trying to defend with the flak turret behind this base, but man, these butterflies just not going down. And dude, what a play. More lessons learned, says Heyman. We're going to game 3, baby. All right. Let's go, guys. We got ourselves game 3. And it is the starter deck. 3 out of 3. It's 1-1 in this series. Let's see if Boanaan can win the series 2-1 with the starter deck. See how Heyman counters it. Because I think what's interesting is they always say like restrictions and limitations are what really breeds creativity. And that's what's happening here. I think Boanaan, the way he used that army, the butterflies against the turret specifically was just fantastically well done. But basically the only difference is Heyman's like, well, I have Valks now. So end game, I'm going to wreck you with Valks in the air. And in the ground game, I've got destroyers that wreck heavy ballistas and king crabs. And I got mortars that's a good splash damage unit. I mean, yeah, that Valk edition's nasty. Heyman's like, can't beat me with mass bulwark this time. So what could Boanaan do, guys? Well, he could go for a bit more butterfly aggression early and just force a massive recall hunters but avoid fighting them somehow. Get expansion tempo behind it and then transition into ground. And with ground, he could play like crab heavy ballista, and it's going to be hard for the destroyers to get in range of the heavy ballistas. So if you can get to advanced foundry, that could actually be a very good play here. Oh my gosh, why is he building hunters, guys? Guys, why is he building hunters? Is this like an all-in? Obviously, hunters spend your energy. Is this just a hunter crab all-in? Oh my god, they actually do decent damage, dude. He's forcing recall hunters out of Heyman as well here to try to survive here. Wow. Hunters trying to apply heavy pressure. Boanaan trying to maybe force some mistakes here. Let's see what he can get done. Recall comes in. He's going to stand and fight. Krabs tank really well, but he's got to pull back the hunters now. And there's quite a few crabs. I don't know who's winning these trades, guys. I think it's Heyman, but it's very close. This is the best anti-air unit at versing the ground right now, the Hunter? Really? Oh, very cool. So it might be like, maybe it's still the worst anti-air unit out of them, but the fact that it's decent versus ground makes it a bit more versatile. Third base coming in behind it. I do like that choice. We've got Foundry Tech committed to by Heyman, which means you absolutely can go Butterfly here. I think we're going to see Boanaan. No, he's still massing Hunter. Hunter Crab. He's trying to go for the tempo. He's like trying to just drown his opponent with this early game interaction. The Hunters are doing really well, dude. Oh my gosh, the Hunters are doing really well. Oh my god, is he gonna do it? With a Crab Hunter's swarm attack, because Recall Hunters I just don't think are very good against ground units. Wow. Hunter used to be the most garbage unit in the game. Heyman's got a lot of money, but I think he just, you know, couldn't quite get on top of that. His numbers were getting eradicated, and Boanaan says, oh, by the way, no one knows this because no one uses the starter deck at high level. Past at the very start, Hunter, actually a decent anti-ground unit. Color me surprised. Heyman gets in chat and says, I've never seen that, LOL, ever. Yeah, I didn't know Hunters are good versus ground. I don't know. Let's take a look at the stats, guys. So the Hunter has 10 range and it does 100 damage. Oh yeah, that's not bad. Obviously 250 against air. And it attacks 100, so it's got 100 DPS. Wait, 100 DPS is really decent, isn't it? If we compare that to like a normal recall, yeah, it's way more than half. Because the recall attacks slower and only does 170. Wow. And a recall hunter, on the other hand, does 90 damage and attacks slower. So it does, yeah, significantly less damage against ground. It's way better against air. Yeah. Way better against air. So the Recall Hunter has 10 range. The Recall itself, though, chat's pointing out, only has 8 range. So the Hunters are actually so good because they have that 10 range as well. Oh, wow. Yeah. And they can always, like, they can kite as well because they've got +2 range and they have a better move speed. Oh, wow. That is actually really good. That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not too crazy hard to stop, but especially if it catches you off guard, that could be shocking. GG, well played. That's awesome. Boanaan showing that the starter deck has some hidden potential and just reminding us how little we really know about battle aces at this early stage. GG, well played, Boanaan.